Hello gamers, JRPG lovers, my name is Kraos and today I'm here to bring you my first impressions from The Legend of Heroes, Trails from Zero. So a few weeks back on my stream, I got the chance to play The Legend of Heroes for the first time, the entire series for the first time, with the newest localization of one of their games with Trails from Zero that just came to the West. And it inspired me to decide to kind of do a short video where I give you guys my first impression of the game. So without further ado, let's get in my first impressions of this game. So to begin, again, I'll mention this is my first game in the franchise, so some of the things I mentioned today might just be staples of the franchise. Some of the gameplay features I'm going to talk about may just be staples of the franchise. I don't really know. I haven't never played any of the other games, so if they are, just let me know down below, and if they're unique to this game, well, also let me know, because it's important for me to know the difference. So the first thing I want us to talk about are the gameplay features, and especially the battle features in this game. So something that struck me at the start was the amount of different systems there were for battle, which took me by surprise, and it allowed me to see this game as something that, you know, there's a lot of avenues for you to take to make the fights increasingly dynamic. The systems I'm talking about are all the different ways in which during a fight you can approach your battles. So you'll have your basic attack and your basic items, just kind of like in regular JRPGs, but you'll also have your arts, which you could put akin to your spells, and on top of that you have crafts and S-crafts, which allow you such a wide arsenal on how to approach battles, because you work off two different systems in this game. The EP system, which is going to be kind of your mana, and the CP system, which is a gauge you build up over time. And the CP will be used for crafts and S-crafts, which I believe stand for super crafts, but correct me if I'm wrong, while the AP are used for arts, for your spells. So that's very basic, but what I really found interesting was the craft system, where the S-craft can only be used once you have at least 100 CP, and then the others can be used depending on how much their regular cost is as you build up this gauge. So I thought it was super dynamic because it just allows you to strategize beforehand when you enter battles that might be a little bit harder, where you're like, okay, maybe I want to keep a little bit of that going ahead of time because, you know, I may need it for a boss in the future. So I thought that was like something we don't usually see in JRPGs, and I thought it was something that we need to highlight because it makes this game quite unique in its combat system. So something I found very interesting too were the team attacks, where if you manage to stun the enemy before engaging in battle with them, you'll be able to engage in this kind of team attack where your units kind of unite together and do a really cool animations. And you just kind of take down the enemy with this powerful attack, which I thought was great because then again, it's another way to mix and match how you want to approach battles. Other than that, my big highlight of this game, which I think more games need to take notes on, it's the high speed mode, which every RPG needs this, especially the grind heavy ones. They all need it. So it allows you to speed up your games when you're moving around, when you're fighting, making everything just so much faster. So as you guys know, when you play an RPG, sometimes there could be a lot of going back and forth from one area to another, or maybe a lot of going and running a dungeon where you get attacked by the same 3 enemies that are really annoying and there's nothing really changing. Well, now you can use the high speed mode in this game where you just kind of zoom around the place and get through things so much faster. I don't ever want to go back to a game without a high-speed mode anymore. I fell in love with it. So, but with jokes aside, I think like it's a great addition to a game. It's a very interesting mechanic that they added, and something that I feel really does help the flow of this game move along because it understands the genre it's in. It's just showing that it understands the lack of is the genre where you want to be able to grind, but sometimes taking a lot of time to grind can suck for a lot of different reasons, or when you're doing a lot of back and forth between regions you've already seen, going a little bit faster might be good. Also, mind you, it's the first time I'm playing this. I only played 3 hours, so these are going to be my early thoughts. There's a couple of other things, such as a Sepif that I saw that I don't know much about yet, so I'm not going to talk about it too much because I'm still learning. I'm going to be playing more of this, but I'm still learning. All right, let's move on to the story and character side of all this, because gameplay features are nice. It's a video game. You got to have good gameplay features. The gameplay loop has to be interesting, and so far I'm finding interesting. But for me, also for a lot of RPG lovers, I think that story and characters are very important. So the first couple of hours were quite simple. They kind of immerse you well into the idea that you're going to join the Crossbell City Police Department, and yeah, it works as a good hook. And especially in the opening sequence, was kind of like starts in medias res. So you kind of start in some point of the story where I don't really know where it is, and then it takes you back a little bit. I don't know much more than that, but I felt that at the start, it's a good hook. The story starts a good hook, keeps you in, and it helps with a lot of charming characters that you meet first. And you're like, okay, I'm interested in these guys. The one thing I will say, though, is there's a lot of name dropping of places and events that are a little jarring to new fans. It was a little hard to hear all the names of places and things and organizations. Like, okay, I don't understand all these so far, but I feel like you're going to tell me more later. As some of you guys know, this game is a larger installment in a larger franchise. So for older fans, I think it's nice to see these kind of acknowledgements of certain things and, you know, these familiar landmarks. But for newer fans, maybe a little jarring, but then they're not too heavy on the sauce. So I'm kind of okay with it at the end of the day, because it just allows older fans to get their bearing, but probably newer fans like me are just kind of like, okay, this is a little weird, but I guess I'll learn later. Hopefully they will explain later. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt for now, but, you know, so far story, very nice. Character-wise, as I said a little earlier, very charming first cast of character. They come off as an odd bunch that don't really fit together, but you quickly grasp each of their certain personalities and how it's going to interact with each other in the long run, and how they're going to mesh, and how the dynamic's going to run. You can kind of have a feel early on, and each character has kind of a redeeming qualities that make it so that you're quickly kind of attached to them. They did a great job, the devs, at like just making sure that once you're in the game, the characters are like, okay, these guys I can get behind. I can spend the next 40, 60, 70 hours with them, depending on how long the game is. I can spend my time with these guys. I don't know if there's going to be more characters. From what I seem to understand, no, these are your main characters, which that's going to be your party, and you're going to play with that. And then beyond that, all other characters you meet are just going to be like additional characters that they're going to go through and pass through and be side characters. And finally, we have to talk about the arts in this game. By art, I mean graphics, I mean music, all that stuff. The artistic elements of the game. I really enjoy the more chibi art style. I don't know why. Every time I'm like, oh, I'm not sure I'm gonna like it, and then I see the big eyes, all that stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I'm digging this. I'm digging this. And with every cinematic cutscene or any kind of like cinematic art, more like high-res art, it has a very strong anime vibe, which, I mean, yeah, it's a JRPG, like it's gonna be expected. But so far, I haven't seen anything that makes me go, ooh, this is bad. Like, so far, the artistic direction, I'm very behind. I've looked at the game, played through the start twice because I need the footage for the video, and there's nothing that just sticks out to me as like uninspired. Maybe the first dungeon looks a little odd. I don't know, like the underworld, which seems to be a place where we're going to be a lot in. Hopefully, I feel like that environment, if we're going to be stuck in it a lot in the game, hopefully it evolves over time, because that kind of look of the like machinery, underground-ish, you know, it looks okay, but I don't want to spend my entire time in it. So if that persists throughout the game, that might be a negative mark. I understand that if it's like the main area where you do your policing, then it might stay the same general theme. But apart from that little thing, I think that I was pretty happy with the way it looked, and even the music was just kind of good. To be fair and honest, I was never kind of grasped entirely by the music. Like it lacked a little bit of something, but maybe it's gonna grow on me with time. You know, sometimes with JRPG music, it's type of thing where you play more and more and more and more and more, and you're like, damn, this music is really better than I thought. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of a pass there, but you know, I was never really enthralled by it. I noticed it sounded nice. It didn't sound like, oh my god, get this out of here, but it was like nothing that would just like make me go, oh my god, wow, this music, this composition is great. You know, it never kind of put itself at the forefront, but sometimes that's all you need. You need something in the background that's going to give you the right vibes for the right time and not overstep its welcome. So overall, I would give this game a very nice, no, I don't know, I don't think I'm going to grade these whenever I do this, but I'm enjoying it so far. First impressions are positive, for sure. And if you want to see me play more of this, down below there's going to be a playlist of all the streams of the game. I'm going to be doing my second stream of it later today, as the day this video goes up, later today at 12, as you can see here it is. You can see it. I'll be making a second stream of the game. We will be playing a little bit more of Trails from Zero Legend of Heroes on stream here right on YouTube. You don't even have to go to another platform. It's right on YouTube. It's going to be down below the playlist and the link to the stream. So come hang out if you want to know more, if you want to see how my thoughts about the game progress as I play more. And yeah, hopefully tell me what you guys think about it in the comments. Tell me, are you a fan of the game? Have you liked it? Have you loved it? What's your take on the franchise? Which other game should I play? Let me know all that good stuff down in the comments below. What did you guys think of the video too? And yeah, come check out the stream. Leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'll try to give you guys a lot more first impression / review content if you guys enjoyed these. And yeah, check out the rest of the channel. Love you all very much. Again, subscribe, like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.